Have you ever gone through a traumatic event that left you almost unrecognizable? A breakup that seems to kill you emotionally. A betrayal that numbs you. A failure that makes you lose faith in yourself. And then, you react with panic, anger, disappointment, sometimes doing things you never thought you would do. But let me ask you this. Is it the event itself that destroys you, or is it how you react to it that is the real destroyer? People often think they are defeated by circumstances. But the truth is, it is our reaction that determines whether we fall or get up. _blank. I want to tell you something that the Stoics discovered over 2,000 years ago. It is this: you can't control the outside world, but you can always control your own reaction. When Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, lost his young son, he did not rebel or look for someone to blame. Instead, he wrote in his diary, "If things are beyond our control, then suffering is also a choice, and we choose not to suffer." He taught that you can endure anything if you choose the right response. _blank. I know, when an incident happens, it's easier said than done. When someone you trusted turns their back on you. When your lifelong dream is shattered in a rejection email. When you wake up one morning and realize you have nothing left to hold on to. In those moments, our instinct is to withdraw, to blame, to run away, or to get angry. And it is at those times that the clearest test is the real power inside you. Remember this: reaction is the only thing you really own. And if you don't train it, it will train you. _blank. Stoics are not cold and indifferent to life. They hurt. They get disappointed. They shed tears, just like everyone else. But what makes them different is they don't let their first reaction become their fate. They take time to think, to observe their emotions as an outsider, and choose to respond from a deeper place, where reason, values, and human qualities remain intact. _blank. So in this video, I want to share with you looking back at 5 wrong reactions that almost everyone has experienced when faced with a change, whether it's a job loss, a breakup, or some other unforeseen change in life. And more importantly, I will share how a Stoic would react. Not to become an emotionless Iron Man, but to become the person who actively chooses emotions, rather than being a victim of it. _blank. I don't know what you're facing in your life. Maybe it's a loss. Maybe it's a crisis. Maybe you feel misunderstood, left out, or simply exhausted. But I know one thing. You have the power to choose how you react, and that power is something no one can take away. And maybe, just by changing the way you react, you will change your whole life. So stay until the end of this video. Because who knows? Just one right response can save a future that is on the verge of collapse. _blank. Join me on a journey to unpick each reaction and find the calm of the Stoic warrior within yourself. Have you ever experienced this feeling? Something bad happens, and instead of facing it, you choose to get busy. You throw yourself into work, scroll through TikTok for hours, fill the fridge with sweets, turn up the TV, and then pretend like nothing is happening. You try to forget. You do everything you can to not feel what you are feeling. Sound familiar? If so, you are not alone. blank underscore blank. The first reaction of many people when faced with an incident is not to cry, but to run away. Don't run with your feet, run with your mind. They don't face the pain. They cover it with a layer of busyness. A veil of, "I'm fine." A forced smile while their heart is breaking. And here's the thing. You can fool people into thinking you're fine. But you can't fool yourself. Blank underscore blank. I have been there. When I lost a close friend in an accident, I threw myself into work without rest. I clean the house like a machine, answer emails at 3 a.m., and post energetic posts on social media. On the outside, I appear strong, but inside, I was falling apart. Only when I sat alone, without music, without my phone, without anything to distract me, did I realize the pain is still there, and I need to look it straight in the eye. Blank underscore blank. The Stoics, philosophers who lived over 2,000 years ago, taught a lesson that still rings true today. You can bear anything, as long as you look it straight in the eye. Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics were not people who avoided negative emotions. They don't force themselves to pretend they don't hurt. They accept that they will hurt. But they actively observe the emotion, face it, understand it, and then overcome it with awareness. Not with denial. Blank underscore blank. You see, not reacting is also a reaction, if it is active silence. Not running away. Escaping reality is like taking anesthetics. It helps you forget the pain, but it doesn't heal the wound. Sooner or later, the emotions you avoid will return, often in a more negative form: stress, anxiety, insomnia, even depression. Blank underscore blank. So what would Stoic do instead of running away? They sat down with themselves. They asked themselves, where does this emotion come from? What does it tell me? And they respond with rational action, not instinctive reflexes. Blank underscore blank. You can start today. Just turn off everything around you. Take 10 minutes. No social media, no background music. There is only you, and the truth you carry in your heart. You may cry, you may shake, but you know what happens next? You will feel lighter, because for the first time, you are not running away anymore. Blank underscore blank. I know it's not easy. But like every great lesson in life, it's worth it. Because when you have the courage to face reality, no matter how ugly, you give yourself the strength to overcome it. And that is the real power that Stoicism brings. Not indifferent, but steadfast. Not to avoid, but to accept, to overcome. Blank underscore blank. Pain cannot kill you, but refusing to acknowledge it can leave you living a half-hearted life. So don't run away anymore. Stop, face it, and you will see, you are much stronger than you think. Do you ever feel like life is against you? You tried your best, and failed. You were kind, and got betrayed. You sacrificed so much, and no one recognized it. And then you start to wonder, why am I suffering? Who made it this way? We start looking for someone to blame. The person you once trusted but hurt you. The boss is unfair. This society. This life. Or even, fate. Blank underscore blank. And I understand. I really understand why we do that. Because blaming makes us feel less pain temporarily. It gives us a clear culprit to point the finger at, rather than struggling with feelings of emptiness and meaninglessness. It makes us see that we are not alone in our mistakes, and that we are victims, not failures. But here's the harsh truth. Blaming is the fastest way to lose control of your life. Blank. When you believe that other people are the reason for your unhappiness, you are also giving them control over your emotions, your destiny, and your future. You make yourself a passive victim in your own life story. And gradually, you stop believing that you can change anything, because it's not all about me. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was once a slave, once said something that I will never forget. It is not the event that makes us suffer, but the way we look at it. He has no control over his outer life, but he does control his mind. And from there, he built a philosophy of life so strong that, even though he was physically bound, he was still mentally free. The Stoic does not ask, "Who caused me pain?" They asked, "What can I transform this pain into? What do I need to change in the way I react so that I no longer suffer?" That's why they are never victims, no matter how many times they get knocked down. I have fallen into the blame trap many times in my life. When work fails, I blame my teammates. When someone betrays me, I blame them, society, even karma. But I realized, blaming doesn't help me get better. It just keeps me stuck in feelings of anger, resentment, and helplessness. Only when I stopped and asked myself, if I can't change the past, what can I do in the present to become stronger? Things are just starting to change. I am writing a diary. I learned to analyze my emotions instead of acting on them. I learned to take 100% responsibility for my reactions, no matter how bad the external circumstances were. And you know what magical thing happened? I began to see more clearly. I am no longer suffocated by a sense of injustice. I am no longer alive to retaliate or prove anything. I live because I have the right to choose how to live. Blame is a sweet temptation, but it is also a prison sentence for inner strength. Taking responsibility is an act of courage, but it is also the gateway to freedom. Remember, you don't need to control everything. You only need to control your own reactions. And once you do that, no one, no circumstances, no fate can hold you back anymore. Have you ever been in this situation? Something happens. Everything you believe in comes crashing down. And you just sit there, motionless, helpless, not knowing what to do next. You are no longer angry. No more screaming. You just feel empty. And then, a little voice rang out in my head. It's useless. There's nothing I can do to change it. That is when we no longer resist. No longer try. I give up. It's not that we don't want to be better, it's that we no longer believe we can be. This third wrong reaction, surrender completely to emotions, is a very common trap. Because emotions, when strong enough, can make us think, I feel like this. Life must really be that bad. Feelings of pain, disappointment, guilt or depression begin to take over our entire lives. You don't want to get out of bed anymore. You no longer reply to messages. You turn down every opportunity because you think you are not worthy. And little by little, you lose yourself. Blank. Underscore. Blank. But you know what? Stoics. They do not deny emotions. They don't try to be fake positive. Don't hold back. Don't force themselves. They look directly at that emotion. But they don't let the emotion take the wheel. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "Emotions may come, but intelligence determines how we react." Try to imagine emotions as a wave. You can't stop the waves from crashing. But you can learn to surf the wave instead of being swept away by it. Blank. Underscore. Blank. The Stoics observed emotions as if they were standing outside looking in. Aha, I feel sad. I feel hopeless. But that's a feeling, not a fact of life. I'm still alive. I still have choices. Blank. Underscore. Blank. I remember once, a close friend of mine lost everything in a financial crash. He used to be so strong, so driven, but after that shock, he just shut down, didn't talk, didn't eat, didn't do anything for weeks. I came to visit, and he said only one sentence. I feel like I'm nobody anymore. But a few months later, he returned, not the same, but a new, stronger version. I asked him what he did. He said, I learned to talk to my emotions like I would talk to a customer. I let it in. I let it sit down. But I don't give it the keys to my life anymore. Blank. Underscore. Blank. And that reminds me of what Stoic philosophy teaches. Emotions are signals, not commands. They come to be heard, not to be obeyed. Blank. Underscore. Blank. If you are feeling exhausted, I want you to remember this. The feeling you are having is not you. And the despair you see is not the ultimate truth. You don't need to deny your feelings. But you need to keep room for reason at the table. Because true inner strength is not feeling nothing. It's about staying cool, even when emotions are running high. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Ask yourself again, right now, what can I do, however small, to regain control of this emotion? Maybe take a 10-minute walk. Maybe write down what you're feeling. Maybe call a friend you trust. Any small action is a statement that you are still choosing to move forward. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Right finger, and if you're still here, keep going, because next, we're going to debunk an incredibly common mistaken reaction. Seek external validation to compensate for internal hurt. Trust me, it's a sweet but dangerous trap that so many people are falling into. After a betrayal, a failure, or when someone looked down on you, have you ever wanted to prove something? You have said to yourself, we'll see, I'll succeed and make them regret it. I will show the world that I am not weak. And then you start your journey, not to develop yourself, but to seek outside approval. Blank. Underscore. Blank. You post such radiant photos, even though you're exhausted on the inside. You try to make money fast, to prove to someone that they misjudged you. You live in a cycle of must succeed, must have a reputation, just to hear others say, oh, You did a great job. At first, you feel elated, but then, you realize that feeling doesn't last. The pain is still there. Emptiness still lingers amid the virtual applause. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Why is that? Because validation from others is never a true cure for deep inner wounds. It's like a band-aid on an infected wound. It looks better, but it's still burning inside. Blank. Underscore. Blank. The Stoics realized this very early. They do not live to impress. They don't need recognition to survive. They live by their inner principles, the values they build themselves and believe in, even if the whole world turns its back on them. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Marcus Aurelius, a powerful emperor, once wrote, "What other people think doesn't matter. The important thing is that you live according to your own reason." Stop for a moment and think. How many decisions in your life have you made, not because you wanted to, but because you wanted to be recognized by others? Have you ever chosen a career because of your parents' expectations? Ever tried to be strong so as not to be judged? Ever kept silent about wrongdoing, for fear of criticism? Blank. Underscore. Blank. That's how we lose our inner freedom little by little. And the worst part is, even if you get recognized, you still don't feel it's enough. Because recognition is a bottomless well, the more you pour into it, the thirstier it gets. But the Stoics chose a different path. They do not live to prove it. They live to truly become better versions of themselves. Blank. Underscore. Blank. I once interviewed an athlete who was dropped from the national team due to injury. She said, "At first, I was training like crazy just to prove the coaching staff wrong. But then I realized I was living out of anger, not passion." And she decided to stop, not because she was giving up, but because she wanted to return to the real reason she started, the love of the sport, not the recognition. Blank. Underscore. Blank. You see, you don't have to prove you're strong, you just have to be strong. And real power does not need applause. It only takes a heart strong enough to not waver in the face of praise, and not fall before criticism. Blank. Underscore. Blank. If you are living for recognition, ask yourself, what if tomorrow no one cares about me anymore? Should I continue doing what I am doing? If the answer is no, perhaps you are living for the eyes of others, not for yourself. Blank. Underscore. Blank. And remember this, when the inner strength is strong enough, you don't need applause. You just need peace that comes from within. Blank. Underscore. Blank. In the next section, we'll explore a seemingly familiar reaction, but one that's secretly trapping you in hopelessness, believing that everything is over, and there's no future for you. Go ahead, because maybe that part will pull you out of a dark night you dare not tell anyone. There are times in life when it feels like it's all over. Not just a failure, but a complete collapse of hope. You lost your job. The person you love leaves you. A dream that has been with us all our youth, shattered after just one phone call, one rejection email, or one uncontrollable event. And then you say to yourself, I will probably never be happy again in this life. Everything is done. Blank. Underscore. Blank. I know that feeling, because I've been there too. There was a time when every morning when I woke up, I saw no reason to get out of bed. Not because I'm lazy, but because I don't see any destination anymore. When we lose faith in the future, we no longer want to move forward. Everything ahead is just a fog. Meaningless. Blank. Blank. But you know what's most dangerous? Not an event, no loss. But we believe that today's suffering is forever. Blank. Blank. The Stoics, those brave ancient philosophers, faced more severe adversity than any of us: exile, loss, war, disease. And they realized one key thing: nothing is permanent, not even pain. It will all pass, like a river. Blank. Blank. Epictetus was a slave. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, lost a loved one in the midst of a devastating war. But they did not despair, because they understand the future doesn't depend on what happened yesterday. It depends on how we live today. Blank. Blank. Stoicism does not teach you to daydream. They don't say, just stay positive, everything will be fine. The Stoics kept hope alive in another way, by taking action every day. They don't sit around waiting for good things to come to them. They create opportunity by doing the right thing, one small thing. One conscious choice, one steady step. Blank. Blank. Imagine you are standing in the ruins of your life. You see nothing but debris. But you can pick up a brick, put it down, and rebuild it, bit by bit. You may not see what the whole house will look like, but you know, it won't grow by itself if you don't start laying the first brick. Blank. Blank. I remember talking to someone who had survived terminal cancer. I asked him what kept him from giving up, even though his chances of survival were only 5%. He said, "Because I think, if there is 1% of hope, then I have 100% action to grasp it. And every day that passes, I say to myself, this is not the end, unless I decide not to move on." Blank. Blank. You see, sometimes hope isn't a feeling, it's a choice. You can choose to believe that things will be different, not because you are certain, but because you are doing what needs to be done to change. Blank. Blank. And you don't have to have great faith in the future. You just have to believe that you can do something today. Maybe clean the room. Maybe sending an email you've been procrastinating about. Maybe take a 15-minute walk to breathe. To remind yourself, you are alive. You are present. You have a choice. Blank. Blank. You don't lose when you lose everything. You only lose when you believe there is nothing left worth starting over. But the truth is, an incident does not close your life. It opens the opportunity to become a stronger version of yourself. And sometimes, extraordinary people are created from the ruins of a broken life. Blank. Blank. If you have come this far, I believe that within you, there is still a small fire that has not been extinguished. The ending will help you rekindle that. Where does true power lie? When all false reactions have been removed. This life does not promise us a smooth road. Sooner or later, everyone will have to face an incident. It could be losing the person you love the most. It can be losing yourself in the hustle and bustle of life. Or a huge failure that makes you question everything you once believed. And when that happens, It can feel like your whole world is falling apart. But there is one question more important than any other. How would you react? Blank. Underscore. Blank. We cannot choose what happens in life. But we can always choose how we react. And it's that reaction, not the event, that defines you. You are not defined by the pain you feel. You are defined by how you move on from that pain. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Stoicism is not a dry theory. It's a way of life. The way of life of the calm in the storm. The lifestyle of those who understand that. You are not your emotions. You are not your failure. You are the one observing them. You are the one choosing how to respond. Blank. Underscore. Blank. I know, when things fall apart, it's easy to lose your bearings. We want to resist. We want to blame. We want to give up. And those are instinctive reactions, very human. But you can stop. Take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what response will make me a better version of myself? Instead of pushing me deeper into darkness? Blank. Underscore. Blank. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Every obstacle is an opportunity to practice virtue. Every challenge is a training for the mind. You may not be able to control what happens to you, but you can train how you react, every day." Blank. Underscore. Blank. Every time you choose to stay silent instead of getting angry, you are practicing patience. Every time you choose to face it instead of running away, you are practicing courage. Every time you choose to do the right thing even when no one is looking, you are practicing dignity. And little by little, you become stronger, not because of the ease of circumstances, but because of how you respond to adversity. Blank. Underscore. Blank. I want you to remember this. Power does not come from words, but from choices. And every choice of response is a brick placed on the path that leads you to maturity. You can choose to let anger consume you, or choose to let it pass like a cloud. You can choose to let failure get you down, or choose to use it as fuel to build you back up again. You can choose to live to prove something, or live true to the values you believe in, even if no one approves. Blank. Underscore. Blank. That is the inner freedom that Stoicism brings. No one can take it away from you, unless you give it up yourself. And if you practice long enough, deep enough, you will no longer be a victim of life, but as the one who actively redefines himself after each event. Blank. Underscore. Blank. You don't have to shout yourself strong, because your strength will be shown in how you stay silent, steady, and move on. You won't need world recognition, because you have the approval of the most important person, yourself. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Thank you for coming with me to the end of this journey. If there's one thing you take away from this video, let it be this: training your reaction is training your destiny. And you can always start from this very moment. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Please leave a comment below. Have you ever changed your life simply by changing your reaction? I would love to read your story. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs a powerful reminder. We will meet again in the journey of cultivating inner strength every day.